Just how important is typography in your book cover design? You may think that the image on your book cover is the selling point of your book, but in my opinion, your typography can make or break your cover design. I believe that the typography is the thing that separates your cover from looking super professional to a bit amateur. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 rules of typography, specifically when it comes to book cover design. Hello everyone, my name is Mandy. I'm an author, the creator of the Book Launch Planner series, and I have courses on book cover design and book formatting. I make weekly videos on the business of being an author, so if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you never miss a new upload. You can also join as a YouTube member to get early access to videos as well as behind the scenes content. So to introduce myself, I actually used to work one-on-one with clients to design book covers and also format books. At this point, I've designed hundreds of book covers, and now I also have courses on book cover design. So if what I talk about today really interests you and you want to do the DIY route to design your own book covers, I highly recommend checking out those courses. There's actually a 3-course bundle for book cover design where you can buy all 3 courses, or you can buy individually what you feel suits your needs. Course 1 is just a course on Photoshop. Course number 2 is a course specifically on typography. So if you hire someone to illustrate your cover and you need to add just in the typography, that's the course for you. And then course number 3 is taking stock images and turning them into beautiful book covers. Today, everything we're talking about is stuff that I already talk about in my typography course. So I'll be talking a little bit more broadly, but if you want more information, definitely make sure to check out that typography course. Rule number 1 of typography is to limit yourself to just 2 fonts. So when it comes to design, simpler is always better. If you've watched my other YouTube videos on book cover design, you've probably heard me say this about a million times. But typically, amateur designers want to show off their skills, which typically results in a very busy, kind of ugly design. Whereas if you limit yourself to just 2 fonts, you get a much cleaner look. And if you look at other book covers, you'll notice there's typically never more than 2 fonts being used. Now, with that said, when you use one font, you can actually get a lot of different looks out of one font. For example, if you take the regular font and then you make it bold, it looks different. You can take the font and make it italic, or you can take the font and make it all caps. This is how you can get different visual effects for your font, but still only limiting yourself to one font. So a lot of the times in book cover design, you can actually get away with just one font, and you don't have to use 2 fonts. But the golden rule is to limit yourself to just 2 fonts, but that doesn't limit your ability to use bold, italics, using all caps, that sort of thing. Rule number 2 is to create a hierarchy of importance. So this is done especially when it comes to typography, and basically creating a hierarchy is telling the reader what is the most important. Is it the author of the book that's the most important, or is it the title of the book that is the most important? Whichever is the most important is going to be the thing that is the biggest and boldest on your cover design. This is why sometimes you'll see really famous writers like Stephen King have their book covers, like half of it is just their name. And that's not done on accident. That is because in terms of hierarchy of importance, the author's name is probably one of the most important things because it's the biggest selling feature of the book itself. Now, on the other end of the spectrum of hierarchy, the things that are less important but you still might want on the book cover are things like the book's tagline or the book's series information. And that information is typically pretty small. You can't typically read it in a thumbnail view, but it is readable when you have the book in person and you want to, just look at the tagline or read it regularly. Rule number 3 of typography is to create contrast. Now, the way you create contrast specifically with typography can be many different ways. You can create contrast in terms of color, in terms of size, and in terms of overall design. You know the contrast of your typography is good when you take your book cover, you make it black and white, and that you can still read it easily. This means that you have good contrast and the text isn't getting lost in the design of the book cover itself. Rule number 4 of typography is to treat your text as an image. Typography can be an art within itself. In fact, there are some book covers where just the typography is the book cover. There may be some other images, but the main show is just the title of the book, and it's designed in a beautiful way. Now, this is probably my weakest point as a designer. I've always specialized in designing book covers using stock images, so that's my specialty, but you can definitely design book covers that are very, very typography based. An example of this is this book cover for Not Like the Movies. This is a great example of a book cover where the typography is the real showstopper for the cover. There is some other images going on, but we can see there's a lot going on with the typography. It's not just simple flat text. And I can tell you right now that this cover was probably designed in a program like Adobe Illustrator or Procreate, where you can really customize the text. You can't really do that as much in Photoshop, but you can do some fun playing around with text in Photoshop. For example, if I want to do really fun typography in Photoshop, I like to visit a website called Creative Market. They sell a ton of different fonts, and a lot of them are a bit fancier and fun fonts, and I purchase the rights to that font. I open it up in Photoshop, and I start playing around with it in terms of using the text warp tool to change the shape of the text. I'll add in some layers to add some depth to the text, and then I'll also do things like adding in some layer styles to the text to make it pop a little bit more. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't worry. I do cover this all in my cover design courses. Layer styles is really where the magic happens in Photoshop, and you can do a lot of fun things with it. And the last rule we're talking about today is rule number 5 of typography. Make it readable. This is the most important rule out of everything today. If you don't follow the rule of making your text readable, then there's really no point. The number 1 job of your text is that it should be able to be read. So if you choose a really, really overly fancy font to the point that you can't tell what letters are what, then you can't tell the reader what the title of the book is. Readers shouldn't have to guess what the text is on a book cover. It should be very clear, very obvious, and they shouldn't have to put any effort into reading it. And I know that me saying this, it probably sounds obvious, but sometimes when you're sitting down to design something, you get so lost in the design and you're having fun that you forget that at the end of the day, if you can't just glance at it quickly and read it, it means it's not a good design. Anyways, if you want to learn more about book cover design, again, make sure to check out my courses. It is linked down below. Or you can stay right here on YouTube. I have an entire playlist just on book cover design here on YouTube. So there's so much to learn right here for free. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to comment down below, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next video.